morning, everyone, and welcome to the NBL Virtual Town Hall meeting. We're so happy to have you join us this afternoon during your lunch hour. On behalf of the Metropolitan Business League, our Board of Directors and CEO Floyd Miller, I'd like to welcome you to our virtual town hall created to ensure we continue our commitment to minority and women-owned businesses and show our ability to pivot during unprecedented times. We're excited to continue this 6-part series today to inform, educate, and guide small businesses and nonprofit organizations in lieu of COVID-19. We invite you to learn more about the NBL, to include programming opportunities, special events, and promotions, to include our upcoming promotion in which we're offering individuals and small business owners free membership for the next few months. This allows individuals to take advantage of our robust offerings now because we realize, again, these are unprecedented times that require unprecedented measures and sources of support. You'll be able to access these details very soon on our website, thenbl.org, along with ways in which you can support the NBL so that we can continue doing this very important work of serving the small business community. So without further ado, I'd like to introduce you to our first speaker today, our Metropolitan Business League favorite for sure, Patrick McFadden. He's the CEO of Indispensable Marketing. As a small business marketing consultant, he's known for his practical and process approach to marketing. In 2012, he founded Indispensable Marketing, a small business marketing consulting firm, changing the way that businesses develop and do marketing. He has been named a small business thought leader by American Express Open Forum. His advice to entrepreneurs has been featured in Inc. magazine and small business development centers. And you can always find his thoughts, ideas, and advice for free on LinkedIn. So without further ado, Patrick, take it away.
Thank you, Melody, and that is definitely true. You can find everything for free on LinkedIn. Just follow me. So today, what I'm going to be talking about is for now and when we come out of this, 4 must-do marketing strategies. And some of the things I'm going to talk about today, you may not associate with marketing, but I assure you that it's absolutely crucial as we navigate this COVID-19. So I want to start off with this. Crazy times call for less reactive decisions and more strategic decisions. Hopefully you find my humor and that there's no product on the shelf. Crazy times. And so you may say, well, Patrick, what do you mean by more strategic decisions? And from a marketing standpoint, what I'm saying is that now is the time to hustle. When I say hustle, I mean spot opportunities, find places where you could solve problems, find new ways to serve your customers. Some of you are going to have to pivot to a new form of service or offering, or fill in some of those gaps in your marketing that you may not have gotten a chance to touch. When I say gaps, I mean some of the things like branding your processes. I know moving forward after COVID, people are going to want to know for certain that you're not going to, you have their safety at the forefront of your mind. So do you have a sanitation process that you need to put in place? And then how are you going to communicate that process? That's part of marketing. That's going to be a gap probably for some of you moving forward. Your online presence, documenting your processes, training, communication. Those are some of the gaps when I say filling in the gaps. So the first thing though, the first marketing strategy is you got to put yourself in your customer's shoes right now. Now, there's a secret behind this. When I say your customer's shoes, whose shoes do you need to be filling? That's the secret. And what I'm saying is that you got to define your ideal client. At this moment in time, who is that client that you're suited to serve? Put yourself in their shoes. And by doing that, it's going to allow you to go do an internal analysis of what are our current assets? What do we have? From a resource standpoint of people, tools, processes, you got to look at your customers and then assess what do you have. And then that's going to lead you to this. No matter what you sell, you're solving a problem. And so what are the problems now that you've put yourself in your customer's shoes that they need solving? what's on their mind. And I have a lot of examples. We have a client that's in the IT space, and they have an end-to-end service delivery model where they could look at the requirements, determine them, go select the IT technology and install that technology end to end. Well, they specialize in the healthcare sector. So they looked at their clients and said, okay, they need masks, they need PPE equipment. So they decided to use their end-to-end model of securing the equipment, purchasing it, and delivering it to them to go get masks. We've seen pharmacists sell hand sanitizers. I just recently went to Panera Bread and Jason's Deli and saw they're offering groceries, right? So they've looked at, put ourselves in our customers' shoes. What do we have that we can solve a problem for? I've seen, if you're a restaurant or retail, you're doing curbside, online orders. I just saw a commercial of a car dealer doing, they'll come pick your car up, drive it back, sanitize it, and bring it back to you. And they use TV to communicate their new sanitation procedures, but still want to service your vehicle. We have clients that are in the law space. Law firms right now are booming for contract issues, employee issues, and concerns. We have medical offices that are doing telehealth. They still want to provide the service. They're just doing it through a new way. So you want to assess what you have, and your assets, and figure out what the problems that you need to be solving at this moment. And the biggest takeaway is, what I'm saying is, be market driven, not marketing driven. All your services and communication should be towards your market, your ideal customer. Always stay in tune with them, and you'll figure out what the needs are. Second strategy I want to talk about is narrowing the gap between you and your client. Today, obviously, we know there's more virtual and digital interactions than ever before. And so when it comes to narrowing that gap, we have a process that we call the customer journey, which we believe there's 5 phases that a client will go through within your business. They will become awareness, education, sample, purchase, and refer. We believe awareness and education is through marketing, sample and purchase is part of your sales, and service is all about, referrals are all about your servicing aspects of your business. Then what we say is, analyze now from a marketing standpoint, what virtual and interactions need to be happening or can happen based off this current environment, right? So awareness could come through digital search engines, maybe your video, social media, virtual events now, right? Somebody may find out about your service or product from a virtual event. Education, right? If you go to our website and look at case studies, you'll see we do video case studies, right? A digital and virtual interaction. Your website, maybe you can get on podcasts or do radios. From a sampling standpoint, can you do recorded educational events? How can somebody sample your expertise, your product from a virtual and digital standpoint? Online demonstrations, maybe you can consult via a webinar. Purchase, we look at purchase as what does the customer get once they say yes, right? So a lot of times, can you put up an online client portal? Can you bill them online as part of the service, the agreement of saying yes? Well, can your billing now move online to save that contact point of the mail? Can you do virtual onboarding? And then referrals. What can you do? Can you do virtual check-ins for your servicing? Can you make videos to show them how to do something? Can you record your account updates if you have to do that? Maybe you can do weekly emails, right? So you want to look at what are your virtual and digital touch points throughout the journey of somebody coming in contact with your business. And the big takeaway here is to realize that every way that your business comes in contact with a client, you're performing a marketing function. So what I'm saying, if you have to think about it another way, through all the interactions, are you building trust or are you eroding it from the digital standpoint?
Mr. McFadden, you have 2 minutes remaining.
All right. The third strategy I want to talk about is partnering with other businesses. So I believe there's 4 different types of partnerships that are available today to get through COVID and post-COVID. Speaking partners, right? So I'm still having opportunities to speak on behalf of banks, associations. The events have just went virtual. They haven't left. They just went virtual. So is there still opportunities for you to partner with other associations and organizations to speak? Service delivery partners, right? This is a partner where you need to come into like restaurants. Restaurants now have to get into the delivery business, but they're not set up logistically to make that happen. So they have to partner with somebody like Grubhub that can help in the delivery aspect of their business. Co-marketing partners. This is simple as if you're a home service contractor, you're an electrician, you can partner with the plumber. If you know that they're already doing work, you can figure out ways to market each other to a new audience or into these neighborhoods. Now, packaging partners is a little bit different. This is where you need to include a business or a resource into your services automatically so that the price is baked in. Where the service delivery, they may charge their own fee, but with the packaging, you need to figure out how you can package your services to solve a client's problem. And the last one is to develop an obvious online choice presence, where you look at your online presence. It's not just your website. It's not just Facebook. It's having an effective website. How are you being found in the search engines? Third-party proof, educating people through content. Are you building trust with videos? Are you creating visuals that communicate your service delivery process, your sanitation process, your outcomes? All those make up your online presence. Your online presence shouldn't replace everything else. It just needs to support it. And those are the 4 strategies. I do want to leave you with this. If you want us to look at the hub of your online presence, we're happy to do a website review. And you can take advantage of this. They'll have it in the show notes. And this is how you get in touch.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Patrick. That was wonderful. And now we will hear from Nickkol Lewis. We're really excited. She's the principal and senior creative with Visual Appeal LLC. Nickkol, take it away.
Hi, good afternoon, everyone. Great presentation, Patrick. You guys, Patrick is one of my strategic partners, and he does a phenomenal job with strategy and marketing. So definitely, if you have an opportunity to connect with him, I would definitely advise you to do so. You will see a lot of synergies within some of the information I'm going to share that undergirds what he brought to you today. So let's get started with this presentation. All right, can everyone see the screen? I hope so. Wonderful. All right, so today we're going to talk about how to rise and grind amid COVID-19 as it relates to your brand presence. So a lot of it, like I said, is going to be similar in nature, but I really want to make sure we discuss how it connects to your brand relevance during this time of crisis. I had an opportunity to speak to a lot of entrepreneurs and small business owners who are dealing with the struggles of having to lay off individuals or even put them on furlough, or trying to decide whether or not they're going to even be able to reopen after this. And what we found is that there was a common goal to identify a way to stay relevant right now. How can I be of service that's meaningful to people right now in business, that's different from maybe the way that I was conducting business before, and keep me moving forward, growing the business, but then also be valuable to my clients. So let's see. All right, so now more than ever, it's important for us to create a culture of inclusiveness in our business. And what I mean by that is starting off with communication. Maintaining communication with your team, your strategic partners, your clients is more important than ever before, because we're all like isolated right now. We've all been taken out of our regular norm of operations and required to work remotely. So we feel disconnected from our team, from our clients, and even from our partners. So opening up those channels of communication allows for to create a culture of inclusiveness where everybody feels us apart, because we're not in this alone. And this inclusive culture will open up opportunities for discussion for new products and services, ways to move beyond business as normal to what we may be doing in our new normal as new processes, products, or services that could outcome. And how is this relevant to your brand? It empowers support. It generates creative dialogue and discussions. You talk about the discovery of new opportunities, and enhances and expands your service offerings and maintains visibility, which is so important right now, which ultimately adds value to your business. So communication is going to be pivotal right now more than ever before. Now, how are we going to be communicating? Well, we're doing it right now. So we're utilizing some of the popular tools that are available to us to stay connected. So we have, like, we're using Zoom right now. There's Uber Conference and Skype. You can have podcasts, you can do webinars, you can start a blog, email marketing initiatives, and even your website can drive additional information about who you are as a business, what it is that you're doing, even amid COVID, how you are being reactive to this and responsive to this in a way that meets the needs of your potential clients. So communication is first and foremost one of the things that we want to keep top of mind right now. We want to start thinking of ways to open new doors for your business. And so what do I mean by that? I mean, we want to think about collaborative opportunities. So again, we're not in this alone. And by collaborating with other partners that are like-minded, it provides an opportunity for mutually beneficial co-branding initiatives. An example that I have of this is I was speaking with a client who reached out talking about they're in a cleaning service. And right now, the companies that they serve are closed. So they're not cleaning the businesses. But on top of that, they are traditional cleaning. So they're not in the business of dealing with infectious disease, which is a completely different type of cleaning. So what they've done is they're connecting with a company that provides that. So what they'll be able to do is communicate the value to their clients that, okay, now that we are not servicing your building, but you've been out and you're concerned about when you and your staff return, how we're going to address and mitigate those concerns around health. We're going to bring in a company to come in and completely disinfect your company from the onset, so that when we come back and start our cleaning again with you, we've already addressed those issues that are a concern to your employees who are coming in, who are concerned about catching something and taking it back, or having it, you know, kind of come around and circle around back on us again. So taking advantage of those opportunities to strategically align with someone who is like-minded, who can provide additional services that would be impactful in this time, I think is definitely. And how does that relate to your brand? It increases visibility again. It generates fresh ideas and perspective by collaborating with others. It optimizes potential growth for your company. It provides results-driven marketing solutions by being able to have these co-branding initiatives, and it promotes out-of-the-box thinking, because we have to really consider the fact that we're never going to go back to what was business as normal. We're going to be developing a new normal, and in that, we have to prepare ourselves and propel forward in that space. Some of the popular tools, a lot of the same, that are good for collaboration are what we're using right now again, and social media. Social media is amazing because it provides so many ways of touch point in so many different mediums, whether it's video, whether you are putting out a blog post, whether you're putting out some sort of message that really communicates who you are and how you are function as a business and how you are moving forward. Your ideas for moving forward are new things that you're going to be bringing to market based off of where we are today. Being more resourceful and leveraging every tool available to sustain your business right now. And that's every tool. Within our system, we use a lot of online tools organically. So for our internal processes, everything is tracked online. For our production work, for communication. So for us, moving home and being able to work remotely was pretty effortlessly, but that's not the case for everyone. And so really kind of digging deep and identifying how you can, shift how you work so that you don't get stumbled upon the next time something comes around, which requires you to modify the way that you generally work as a practice.
Ms. Lewis, you have 2 minutes remaining.
Thank you. So flexibility is where this comes in. It's important to be flexible and exploring new strategies, processes, techniques, and ways that you can serve in a way that's impactful. And that's flexibility. Flexibility is also part of that thinking out of the box. So how does it impact your brand relevance? It communicates stability within your brand. It strengthens your processes, increases your productivity, and leverages growth opportunities. But ultimately, it drives the commitment that you have to your business. This is something that your blood, sweat, and tears went into building, and you don't want that to crumble. So you want to continue to communicate your commitment, and flexibility within your business will allow you to do that. So what does out-of-the-box thinking do? It provides an opportunity for new products to be birthed, for new services to be birthed, and for new strategic opportunities. Things to think about, ways that you can roll out stronger communications, more effective communications around not only what you are about, but how you're going to be relevant to impact your clients' bottom line and their needs. So staying the course, we're going to rise and grind for your business and your brand. And ultimately, it's through determination. As an entrepreneur, we recognize that there are never-ending cycles of ebbs and flow. It moves constantly. And so you want to encourage your team, enlighten your clients, and engage your partners in a way that energizes your message. And what does that do? It exudes confidence, it promotes enthusiasm, increases support, models commitment, and generates business, which is what we want to do. So without compromise, we want to entice, educate, engage. This is the fundamental foundation of what visual appeal speaks to. It's grabbing the attention with strong visual brand, educating by sharing your message with a consistent, strong verbal brand, and engaging by connecting with your target and effectively growing your brand. I know we're going to have a question and answer at the end, but I wanted to at least provide an opportunity for you to be able to get in touch with me. Certainly, if you'd like to consult about how we can assist, I'm certainly open to that. My email address is here, and I'll open to sharing these slides if anyone is interested in having them to refer back to.
Thank you so much, Nickkol. Thanks a lot for sharing that. Entice, educate, engage. That's very, very clever and easy to remember. I just want to remind the entire audience that at any time, I know we've shared a lot of good information, and it brings about questions for me already. I have some. So if you have questions for yourself, you feel free to use the Q&A at any time. You can ask your question there. So you just click on the Q&A button, type your question, and we'll make sure that we get to it during the Q&A portion. And we will now hear from Lauren Peoples, Certified Government Meeting Planner, and she's the Convention Sales Manager at Richmond Region Tourism. So Lauren, whenever you're ready, take it away.
Thank you, and good afternoon to everyone. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm really excited to share a little more with you about what Richmond Region Tourism does and how we partner with local businesses. I love everything that Nickkol and Patrick shared about partnerships and collaboration. So I'll go ahead and get started. Okay, can everyone see my screen? Okay, good. Just a minute. All right, so I'll start by sharing that Richmond Region Tourism is a nonprofit destination marketing organization. And our primary goal is to improve the quality of life in our region through tourism. We know that it's really important for people to love where they live and really be happy with their community and their environment. We also know that when you create a place where people want to live, you'll ultimately create a place where people want to visit. So our mission is to grow the region's economy by attracting visitors, meetings, and conventions, and making sure that everyone who travels into the region, no matter why they're here, we want to make sure that they have a great experience once they do get here. So tourism in Richmond is really big business. The impact that tourism has on our community and local economy is huge. Each year, we welcome about 7 million visitors who stay in our hotels, they enjoy our local attractions, they eat in our restaurants, and patronize our local businesses. And in total, they pump more than $2 billion into our economy every single year. Tourism is also responsible for creating more than 23,000 jobs for residents in the region. So we all benefit from tourism on some level, but it doesn't just happen. Our job at Richmond Region Tourism is to make sure that visitors actually know that we're here. We accomplish this through authentic and compelling marketing and travel promotion. We focus on event recruitment by presenting the Richmond region as a diverse and distinctive meeting, convention, and sports destination to conference and tournament planners across the country. And we provide world-class service to our visitors and meeting delegates once they arrive in our region through our visitor centers and our services team. So we have a lot of ways that we support local businesses. Some of the marketing support that we offer to businesses is promoting local events and maintaining a comprehensive and searchable events calendar. Small businesses or local businesses can get listed on our consumer website. And this website has an average of 62,000 potential visitors every month who plan their trips on visitrichmondva.com. So it's a great opportunity to get them familiar with what your business offers or what your organizations offer. The great thing about getting listed on our website is that businesses are able to manage how they would like to promote their businesses, especially important during this time with COVID, and some people have limited operations or are temporarily closed or are offering special incentives. So you can create a listing that enhances the goods and services that you offer, and this includes any events and special deals. Thinking a little more long-term, businesses can also connect with our services team, and they are responsible for coordinating and directing all services needed for the meetings and conventions that do come into the region. You can sign up to receive our events calendar or our conventions calendar that will let you know when there is a scheduled influx of visitors or business into the region so that you can prepare and maybe plan to engage with them while they're here. So we also have Tourism. It's our ambassador training program, and it's a free program that helps participants gain a visitor's perspective of our region and also knowledge of our tourism products and offerings. Each workshop is completely free. It includes a 2-hour classroom session, and it concludes with a 90-minute guided bus tour. So this prepares attendees to be present and engage during events and special festivals and things like that that happen in the region where they may want to participate. These are all no-cost opportunities that ultimately support our local businesses. If you're interested in signing up for Tourism training, these classes normally happen once a month, and they are they're paused for right now because of social distancing, but you can go to IATRVA.com and sign up so that you'll be notified once the classes do resume. So,
Ms. Peoples, you have 2 minutes remaining.
Okay. So it really is all connected with supporting local businesses through leisure travel and also economic development. The quote that tourism is the first date for economic development perfectly aligns with what we do in the sales department at Richmond Region Tourism. I've always believed that every leisure visitor is a potential meeting and convention delegate, and every meeting and convention delegate is a potential visitor. So the goal is to get them here and then get them to come back. And that's always what I have top of mind when I'm presenting the region. So we have an entire business development team, and one of our objectives is to attract meaningful meetings to Richmond Region's community. And we want those meetings to benefit our local talent and businesses while creating economic prosperity for the hospitality industry. We also work to position the region as a premier, diverse and multicultural destination with initiatives like Black RVA and OutRVA. So when we win opportunities to host meetings like the YMCA's Emerging Multicultural Leadership Experience, the National Association of Black Storytellers, AKA's Mid-Atlantic Regional Conference, our goal is to align the planners and attendees with new economic opportunities and provide revenue streams to local business. So since officially launching last August, in addition to being introduced to our community and prospective visitors, BLK RVA has also been shared with multicultural and diversity meeting and convention planners across the country at different industry events. We've been able to share this initiative with the executive boards of Congressional Black Caucus, the National Coalition of Black Meeting Planners, and a lot of top tier convention planners at trade shows like Connect Diversity. And it's given us the opportunity to connect and engage in an authentic, intentional, and progressive dialogue about the state of Black tourism, Black enterprise, and its invaluable impact on our community and economy, and how we can leverage that impact to move our communities forward. So I know I'm running a little short on time, but thank you all for sharing this afternoon with me and giving me the opportunity to share a little more with you about what we do. And before I turn it over to our community relations manager, Tameka, I'd like to give you the opportunity to contact me if you belong to an association or a group that hosts annual meetings and conventions and may consider Richmond. I'd love to connect with you. So please reach out to me via email. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Lauren. And for everyone that is on the call, we will have everyone's contact information available to you. It'll be in the thank you email that goes out, so you will get all of the contact information again. I just wanted to let Renee know, I think, Renee, I saw your hand. So we'll be coming to you first when it's time for Q&A, just so you know, so don't go too far. We're coming to you first. And anyone else, if you get your hand raised, we'll make sure that we see it and we'll come to you during Q&A. So now we're going to hear from Tameka Jefferson. Tameka is the Community Relations Manager for Richmond Region Tourism, and she's going to speak with us about BLK RVA.
Hi, how are you?
Hey, Tameka.
Hey, thank you guys for joining today. Let me get my screen up, see if you can see this.
Perfect.
Are you able to see it?
Perfect.
Great. So let me tell you, so Black Art, thank you so much to my colleague, Lauren. You did such a wonderful job and a great introduction to Black RVA. So Black RVA just kicked off in August of 2019. It is a campaign, as stated by Lauren, of Richmond Region Tourism. And the goal is to increase tourism, engage regional residents, and support businesses that showcase spaces that highlight the Black experience in the Richmond region. And so if you see on the screen here, I do have we have the action team as well as the committee. We have an African-American roundtable made up of Richmond Region Tourism, as well as some community partners and experts in the community of Richmond and surrounding area who came together to make this possible. This is some of the members of the action team that worked greatly on the Black RVA campaign, as well as Shannon and her group with Rhino Graphics, just to make sure we have the great logo and all that we have today. As stated before, it increases tourism, engage Richmond residents and regional partners. When you think of Black RVA, I want to think about tourism. 1 in 4 members of the African American community in the United States are based and from the city of Richmond. However, many of them do not look at Richmond as a place to travel, to bring family, to bring friends. They usually look at other spaces like LA and other parts of the US. And so our goal with Richmond Region Tourism and also the community and you guys is to say, hey, you know, we're a place that should be visit it. We have great culture here. We have great experiences here for your family, for your friends. Also, you know, we have wonderful historic things that you can visit as well. We look at this from a experience of rooted in business and rising. Rooted in the history of Richmond. You have the museums, you have historic landmarks, you have churches, you have just a lot of legacy here. And we want people to see that, not just the bad things, the good things as well. And so we want to be able to showcase that to the world. And then we look at the rising. There are a lot of coffee shops and boutiques and, you know, restaurants is on the rising every single day. And so we want to make sure that people are able to experience that as well. Some of the 4 pillars that we have with Black RVA is history, arts and entertainment, food and drink, and community. So that's how we kind of showcase it. So again, thinking of travel, when you go to a space or a place or a state to visit, you're thinking about restaurants you want to go to museums, you want to see events, you know, you want to be a part of the experience. So that's what Black RVA is. We want to make sure we show that experience, a place where people, travelers can actually walk into and what they can experience. However, with Richmond Region Tourism, we do want to make sure we bring attention to other businesses as well. So think about businesses, they may have t-shirt businesses, they may be caterers, they don't have a storefront, but they have caterers. So we want individuals to reach out to Richmond Region Tourism to be in our CRM system to make sure that if there are any events that come here or people that host big events like AKA recently had before we went out due to COVID-19, you know, we want to be able to say, you know, here's a group of businesses that we can recommend to cater your event. So we're asking and encouraging businesses, although you may not have a storefront for people to actually visit, we still want to have you in our system and be connected with you because we want to share that information when individuals do travel to the city of Richmond and the Richmond region. All right, so I want to kind of fast forward to local media coverage. What we're doing now, as you can see here on this screen, we have a lot of coverage kind of shedding light on Black RVA and some of the wonderful things we're doing, like Down Home Family Reunion, the 2 Street Festival. We have presence, again, at the AKA events. Recently, with the COVID-19 situation, we have brought attention to the Africana virtual experience, as well as the Richmond Night Market that just kicked off this past weekend, all the wonderful things they're doing. We want to be a partner with you all, and we want to share information about your events. And so to make sure, you know, this is some of the local events that we've done in the community, and you will see us more. I just got hired recently, and so my job is to make sure we see locally more of Black RVA. So you will see Black RVA soon. When this is all over, we will be out there. Ways you can support and also make sure your business is a part of this is by going directly to visitblackrva.com. You know, there's an opportunity for you to share events of that you have coming up, whether it's a festival or whether it's actual event that you want us to be a part of and you want the community to join in on. It's free marketing. You can also, if you want to make sure it's shown on Richmond Region Tourism site as well, you can make sure you go to Richmond Region Tourism directly and share your event there, and then it will automatically share on Black RVA. So just keeping in mind, some things that you may share on Black RVA may not necessarily reflect on Richmond Region Tourism. However, if you go directly to our Richmond Region Tourism site, it will reflect on Black RVA. You just have to create the right tag for that. So please stay engaged. There are wonderful things to come. You know, we're going to be working on volunteer and internship opportunities where we want to engage, you know, local historic Black universities and other colleges to be a part of this, to get out there, whether they want to do an internship in the hospitality community or business. We want you guys to join us. We want, again, to be at all of the events that we have, but we need volunteers. So if you know anyone that's interested in learning more about Black RVA or just being a part of what we're doing and to help us, you know, push forward and let the world see us, then please join in and just be a part of Richmond Region Tourism. So I did provide my information on the back end. It's not on the slide, but you will see it. It's tjefferson@visitrichmondva.com. And I also have a contact for our CRM lead, who is Courtney White. So if you want to, again, make sure your business is registered with Richmond Region Tourism, you can email her at cwhite@visitrichmondva.com. And you guys will receive all of this information, a wonderful video about Black RVA and all at the end of this call. So that's all I have.
Thank you so much, Tameka.
You're welcome.
Thanks a bunch. Okay, so, and thanks again to all of our speakers. We really appreciate the time you've taken to tell all of our attendees on today's webinar about the services that you provide and give really helpful hints and tips that all of us can use. So now we're going to open it up to our Q&A. And we're going to use this as an opportunity, and all the attendees, I strongly suggest using this as an opportunity to ask the experts. They can help you in your own organization or your own business. So if you have a question for a particular person or a particular organization, just include that in your question. And I'm also going to make sure that so that all of our folks can talk, I'm going to open up the microphones to all of our speakers so you can hop in at any time to answer a question. All right. And at this point, I know that Melody has her hand raised. I don't know if she was doing that intentionally, but I'm going to open up everybody so that we can all start the conversation. I'm going to turn it over to Jasmine, who's going to be able to walk us through our Q&A. So thanks so much, everybody.
Thank you, Andrea. So like she mentioned, right now we are going to go into our Q&A portion of the event. If you do have any questions, like previously mentioned, make sure to drop them in the Q&A box at the bottom of your screen. You can also include them in the chat as well, if that's what you feel comfortable with. I'm going to pass it over to Melody first, since she does have her hand raised, to ask a question, and then we'll dive into some questions that we have in the chat. Melody?
Thank you so much, Jasmine. So this question is for Patrick. What would you suggest to businesses in the hospitality industry, specifically lodging facilities that have had to shut down for the sake of protecting, our guests, but as well as our staff? What type of marketing efforts would you're talking about collaboration, I believe, at one point. What would you advise us to be doing at this point outside of the normal social media, keeping our visibility high? We've created buy now, stay later, e-gift cards, just so that we're at the top of people's minds, when we get back to our normal lives. Is there anything else you would suggest we could be doing?
All right. Melody, I heard when you said specifically hospitality. Could you continue?
Yes, it's okay. Yes. So for the hospitality and specifically lodging facilities, outside of keeping our visibility up through social media platforms, staying connected with our guests via weekly email blasts, and also creating e-gift card opportunities, encouraging our guests to buy now and stay later. Is there anything else that you would suggest we could be doing during this time? Because again, our facilities are all closed. They have to be closed. But we want to stay at the forefront at everyone's mind so that when we do open back up, we think that we're the safest type of lodging. We think people, when they ease back into staying and traveling, again, the bed and breakfast could potentially be the best experience for them, as people ease back into get more comfortable with travel.
Yeah, I think right now the opportunity for a lot of hospitality businesses is to make sure you're prepared for the sanitation costs and messaging that's going to happen post-COVID. So, I don't think that's going to be taken into account how many businesses, service or in person, that have to have procedures and processes and communication and visuals to ensure customers that they're going to be safe, that you have protocols, you have processes in place. And I think that has to be communicated, and you have to prepare your facility or your meetings to communicate that and have those things in place. That's what I think right now is going to be key for those types of businesses, is the preparation of all that cost of sanitation, because that's not currently built into the cost of business right now.
Right.
The costs for sanitation for events, for places where people sleep, lodge, meet, that's an extra cost that we somehow have to bake in, and you got to present that as a value. That's going to be standard probably.
Okay, thank you.
Something else, Melody. I know you didn't pose the question to me, but something that came to mind. was that being able to also, I think you have an advantage that bed and breakfast is a smaller space. It's so it's less crowded when it comes to a lot of people in and out. So I think that's an added value that you can communicate in your outputs as you start talking about the space and how intimate it is, and talking about the historical aspects of them, and how that you know, from that standpoint, there is an added safety mechanism because it hasn't been as contaminated by a lot of large crowds.
Perfect. Thank you so much, Nicole. I appreciate you, of course.
All right. Thank you so much, Melody, for that great question. We do have a question from Cassandra Taylor. She says, is a business page on LinkedIn effective, or should content be included on a personal page for her company?
Did she pose it to anybody in particular, or just
no one in particular? Anyone on the panel can answer the question.
I think, from my perspective, a business page is very important. It allows a space for you to really communicate things effectively around your business. Your personal profile is a great place to share that information as well, but that's really more designated to information around you, your expertise, your particular area of focus. But the business page allows you to really set a space for you to communicate your expertise as a business, to really communicate those things that are valuable to your brand. So I would definitely recommend having a page specifically for that.
Yeah. I would just say, as additional, I would say sharing it. Why not both? On your personal, I'm not going to say personal, I'm saying on your professional profile, you're probably going to have more connections than you do on a business, because most people follow a person to do a company anyway. But I would just use both.
I agree with that.
Won't hurt.
Now, a question just piggybacking off of this, and this wasn't a question to answer, just something to think about for other people. Do you think one social media platform is better than the other when it comes to marketing your business? So I know a lot of people are using LinkedIn right now, but do you think that Facebook, maybe even Instagram, I know Instagram, they have a business page. So do you think that one is better than the other?
I wouldn't say that one is better than the other. I think you really have to identify who it is your target is, because each platform speaks to a different set of people. For example, Instagram is really going to be your age group of 30 and younger. So if you are targeting that demographic, absolutely. But it's a visual platform. So if you don't have visual content, obviously that's going to be a struggle. I think that any professional person should have a LinkedIn profile, but LinkedIn is also business to business, where Facebook is more business to consumer. So you really have to consider who your target is, as to what platform is going to be the strongest for you.
Yeah, I think you just nailed it, Nicole. Be market driven, not market driven. I would say, yeah, it's not one that's better than the other. It's which one can you use effectively to achieve the goals you set for your marketing, but also that allows you to reach the customer that you want, which goes back to whose shoes do you need to be filling?
Now I have a question, this is more so a comment, and Scott Tessa, I don't know if you want to piggyback off what you said in the question and answer box about hospitality and what nurses are doing, and what are some specials for nurses and whatnot.
Ladies and gentlemen, we now have 8 minutes remaining.
Kat, if you can unmute Scott Tessa Hurt's microphone.
Scott Tessa, please make sure that you allow me to unmute. There you go.
You got it.
Because Melanie had brought up the information about one of the things that we've been seeing, especially because we have some travel nurses, et cetera, that we're putting out in the some areas that don't have COVID, but some that do. A lot of hospitality places and even bed and breakfasts for our travel nurses are making special arrangements so that they have their own entrances to go into the buildings, and they're having their rooms set aside. They don't give them the same services that that they normally give them, but because of the fact that the rates are good right now, what we're having to pay them, the hospitality areas, they're like, hey, I'm still going to keep making money, and that's going to be the money that they'll be able to use also with sanitizing, et cetera, when all of this is over with. But they're cordoning off that area that they're using specifically for these travel nurses who need places to stay. And they're actually, there's a website for travel nurses that travel nurses go on, and they look for places to stay, and they're utilizing them. So it's an opportunity to still be able to make money. But as far as a bed and breakfast is concerned, they're not offering them this normal bed and breakfast type of amenities, but they're offering them a place to be able to stay, et cetera, to be able to really have a good place to stay. And the bed and breakfasts are still making money off of them. So that's just an idea to still be able to make the money. Is not traditional for what a bed and breakfast does, but a lot of them are doing that right now, just allowing the healthcare workers to have somewhere great to stay, to feel comfortable when they're working these shifts and the craziness of what's going on. So, and it's just, and instead of the place being closed, they're making money. So it's just a thought.
Thank you so much, Tessa. Now, we did have our 8-minute warning, so we're going to go into a lightning round. This is a question from Jeremy Haskins. He says this question is for the entire panel, so anyone can answer. But his question is, how can you convey a message as it regards to coronavirus without sounding like you're just doing a gimmicky bandwagon message?
For me, I think it's about your messaging probably for clients that you're actually servicing. I think like we have businesses that are moving companies, quality moving services. They're doing a good job at communicating what are they going to be doing to make sure that the safety of their client is at the top and the forefronts of their minds through social media. And I think it's just in-service communication is probably the best way. I mean, everybody's getting those messages of we care about you from a company you haven't bought something from in 10 years. We know that's not true. So I would just say I would actually do it with prospective customers who may research you on your website. So place your message there. That's an asset you could use. Your social media page is another asset where somebody may be researching your business. And then whatever opportunities that exist, whether through an email campaign or through a person over the phone, what opportunities that you're actually servicing someone where you could embed that message through a touch point.
Thank you so much, Patrick. Another question from John Brown. It says, I have a vocational training school, and what are some of the new ways that we can do online when it comes to trades?
It's open to anyone?
Open to anyone.
Okay. Yeah, honestly, I mean, when it comes to trades, I think there's still a lot of opportunity with online platforms such as the one we're on today to really educate. There are the challenges, obviously, with some of the technical parts of it where they have to be hands-on, but I think utilizing these tools, virtual tools, through webinars or through virtual tools like we're using today, that would allow you to at least educate on the information so that they can understand what it is that they would be doing, what it is that that they can do from this point, with plans to then have more interactive engagement later on when we're able to come up out of this, because we're not in this forever. But I think that taking this as an opportunity to build a platform where you can get the information out would be best.
Yeah, I know we have a client that does in-person IT training, and it closed their facility down. I think right now your job is to amass this awareness of what vocational training schools can do. I would put instructional videos online, what it's like to be in the school, what instructor interactions are like. You're definitely going to have to start thinking about your COVID messaging and how you're going to sanitize the school and things like that to make sure it's safe. I know just for vocational, like Nickkol said, there's a lot of hands-on. So online, all you can do is be an informational resource and show someone what it's like and why they should, and start collecting email addresses. So when things do come back, you have permission to email them about your opportunities that exist for your school.
Great point.
Alrighty, I know we're getting down to the bottom. I just want, before we end Q&A, we have one comment from Felicia, and she wanted to say, wonderful session. Thank you all for sharing your expertise. Very helpful in staying focused on moving businesses forward during this current challenge. So I will pass it over to Andrea on that note.
Thank you so much. And John Brand says thank you to all the panelists as well. Cassandra said this was great. She had some great key takeaways that we put into the chat. I go to end the session. Connie says thank you to everybody. Hey, Connie home, Buckingham Greenery, big shout out. They're amazing. So I'm going to turn the session now over to Melody to close us out. Melody, take it away.
So I would like to just echo what all the participants have shared. You know, this has been an amazing session. It's been quite helpful as small business owners. I know we're all trying to figure out how to keep our brands relevant and ensure we're able to continue this work when we get back to our normal lives. So again, thank you to Nickkol, Patrick, Tameka, and Lauren for your participation. All the participants, we want to say thank you again for spending your lunch hour with us. We're hopeful you're leaving the session more informed and encouraged with the tools provided to us today. And so we ask that you join us for the 2 remaining sessions of the Metropolitan Business League Town Hall Series, scheduled every Tuesday and Thursday at 12 p.m. through next Tuesday, April 21st. We ask that you join us for our next session, which is Thursday, April 16th, where we'll be discussing tools for nonprofit leadership. We'll have on the call a representative from the Community Foundation. And as always, continue to follow us on our Facebook page at the MBL, on Instagram at MBL RVA for the latest information on resources, programming, and special events in support of minority and women-owned businesses. I thank you again on behalf of our CEO, Floyd Miller, and our board and our staff, and we wish that you guys have a wonderful day.